Cóide de bhur maithasa agus fáilte thnáis. De gach duine, clown, daltaí agus cóide choláiste ón. Táid chun aige thuairt scoilbhléon acadúil nua agus chun go mbeidh ábalta aig ceart a thuairt is gá dún I chinntiú go bhfuil sláinte agus sabháilteacht na scolaire daingnithe agus go bhfuil an scáil chomh agus is gur féidir leis a bheith. Dá bhrí sin táim se chun tráracha an choláiste I mbliana a léamh amach ionas go dtigin gach duine idir tuismitheoirí agus daltaí gur tráracha gur gá a leanúint ó thús an lei go dtí deir an lei chun go mbeidh muid fad slán. I wish to welcome all parents, pupils, and everybody related to Coláiste Own. A welcome back and to a start of a new academic year where we will endeavour to ensure that the best education that can possibly be given during these times to all our students from first year to sixth year. For us to be able to do that, we need your help. We need your help in being able to ensure the safe return. And that safe return means go mbeidh rialacha, dochdaingan, steadfast rules gur gá leanúint that must be followed. These rules are there for everybody. They are not rules about to do with education. They're rules to do with the preservation of life and to make sure that everybody respects and has the courage, the mass and the mission that is needed for us all to get through these troubling times. We are back and we hope to stay back. And the only way we can do that is that if you as a family group follow the rules complicitly, we shall have no major problem. First of all, I would like to thank buíochas Sabháilteacht Phearsanta leis an Máiste Ó Gael agus an Máiste MacDonagha atá tar éis uaireanta cloig fada a chur isteach ó mílúnasa chun go mbeidh na crítear seo a leanúint á chur a bhaim. That Máiste Ó Gael and Máiste MacDonagha have spent endless hours since the middle of August to try to come up with a plan that will safeguard the return. So I ask you to listen to these guidelines and then a small video or fiche that will have been made by Máiste Ó Gael with the pupils showing you exactly how these rules should be followed. And in a mock setup, we will follow 2 or 3 boys in how they will be able to move around the school at certain periods of time. The letter that was sent out to all parents at the end of, I suppose, August, the 20th of August, explained quite categorically all the different changes that were going to be brought about. Now we're in a situation whereby the rules that we have brought about must now be enforced. So, Tusome Mach Anna Himply Fad, agus if you can follow them, it will be great. Ag teacht chun na scoile, coming to school. Cínte ag fágáil na scoile duit nach bhfuil aon córtha tinnis ort. That is making sure that before you leave school, there is no underlying condition that would be associated with the COVID-19. Make sure that when you're coming at school, to the best of your ability, to social distance. Make sure that you have a mask on. Make sure that you have washed your hands before you leave the house and that you are aware of your timetable agus teacht isteach, and that when you come to school 15 minutes before the start, which would be about 20 past 8, classrooms will open at 8:30 agus den tá cadagat dul araigidí and showmaranga. Again, very important. These will be all put up on the web, but again, it's just very basic common sense. And the first one, of course, is the washing of the hands before you leave the house and making sure you're well sanitized and having the face mask would be very important. Second thing then is Sabháilteacht Phearsanta. This would be the safety journey class. The class will start with all students being asked to sanitize their hands. The school will have provided the sanitizing pack for all pupils, which must be kept on them at all time, whereby the gel, the wipes and the masks, extra masks are there. So again, they will follow the teacher's instruction to the letter of the law. Every student will have been assigned a place at a table, and that must be adhered to wherever they go throughout the day. This will ensure limiting the amount of contact the student should have with other students. We ask you not to, and it cannot be, there can be no interchanging of any materials whatsoever, i.e. books, pens, or anything like that. There is no there can be no exchange of any products between pupils. At the end of a class, the teacher will move with you to a designated area, and you will then connect up with the next class that you are going to. You will not be able to go into any classroom without a teacher being with you. Sabháilteacht Phearsanta is the safety in the yard. We're asking pupils to keep the 2 metre distance if they possibly can, where it is possible. We're asking to make sure that when they are sitting and eating their lunch, that it would be a maximum of 4. And if there was any more than 4, we would ask that all pupils would be wearing masks. But it is our intention that at lunchtime, we would hope that the masks and the social distancing can be applied, but if not, you must have the mask readily available to put on in the event that you're heading back into classroom or back into the building. So again, very important to follow those particular guidelines. The next one there is for you probably as parents, Trorcha the courtyard, but all visitors to Colashta Own, we would ask all parents to have no physical contact with the school, especially for the first month. And the reason being is that if we can reduce the amount of people visiting the school, we'll obviously keep our own community safe. In certain circumstances, obviously, where a parent may have to come in to pick up pupils, we would ask them to do that outside of the barrier area. The students will walk to you. In the event that a child becomes sick, it is imperative that when we ring, there is a contact that we can actually get. We cannot release any student out onto the road or out onto buses or any public transport without a guardian picking them up. And in the case that they have shown COVID symptoms, we would ask you to go straight to your straight home, get in touch with the HSE and follow the guidelines and have your son tested immediately, so that we could reduce if the case is positive. These are all only sanctions that in the event something was to happen, but we would hope before a child ever entered our school that that if a child was showing any symptoms, they would not be sent to school. It would be totally unfair on the teaching body here, and therefore we would ask you to check every morning before you send somebody to one of your sons to school, that you make sure that they are able to come and do not show any of those symptoms. Okay, so again, if you want to contact the school as parents, you can do so at ce@onesagon.ie. You can ring the secretary, Siobhan, here at 01 288 4002 at any time, and we will be able to discuss, if you need to discuss Anything with year heads or tutors, we can do that by phone still. And if there's insurmountable reason as to why X amount, there will probably be a limited basis. But again, for the first few weeks, we beg you not to come anywhere near the school unless it is an emergency. And we've explained most of the areas in particular about, obviously, if something was to happen, what should you do? I think that it's imperative that you follow the guidelines that are laid out by the HSE. The school will be contacted by the HSE if a child has become COVID positive, and they will then take over, I suppose, what is going to happen in that particular school. It will not be left up to me or the Board of Management. It will be left up to those that have the expertise in what should happen. It could be a class group, it could be an individual, it could be the whole school. That is purely dependent on what the HSE findings are in relation to that particular pupil, and obviously the contact tracing that will have to go on. A sin ráte, tá na rudí atá curtha I gréachail din scolaire, agus tá sé fíorthábhachtach go leanan gach duine na tráracha atá tucha amach go gumann sin. It's imperative that everybody follows those guidelines that have been laid out, ach ag an am céine that all those guidelines are there to protect your son, the teachers, and the school community. Now, there will now follow a small demonstration by Maestro Goyle with a few of the boys as to how they should approach each school day and what should happen. Rá day agus cumar cinna maid na mura ar fad. Go dtí go múlamid lena chéile a ríist. Slán tamil.